Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Politics here at The Hindu with me, Nistula Hebbar, where we unpack the news making the headlines in domestic politics. Despite the festive air of Holi, much happened last week. Governments in the three states of Nagaland, Meghalaya, and Tripura were sworn in after polls in these states. And the Enforcement Directorate served summons on Bharata Rashtra Samiti leader K. Kavita. But this is a year with 9 assembly elections, including in Telangana, and after the 3 northeastern states, it is now the turn of Karnataka to face polls. A challenging prospect for the ruling BJP, facing a ton of anti-incumbency there, yet not a walkover for the Congress, with the Janata Dal S again being the X factor in the middle. But all parties agree on one fact, that the Lingayat vote, traditionally with the BJP, holds the key to the Karnataka Vidhan Saudha. And it is for this reason that both the Congress and the BJP are hard at work to woo this community. With 17 to 19% of the vote, the Lingayat community, along with the 16% of Vokkaliga vote, that is the Gaudas, have been the two poles of electoral politics in Karnataka. Now, the BJP has already announced its campaign committee and its election management committee. There seems to be an effort there to balance both these communities, with Chief Minister B.S. Bommai being the chairman of the campaign committee and Shobha Karandalaje, Union Minister, being the head of the election management committee. Shobha Karandalaje is a Vokkaliga. So the BJP seems to be trying at some sort of balance there between these two very, very important communities in the electoral fray in Karnataka. But the Lingayat vote continues to be a worry for one reason or the other. Now, the Vokkaliga vote is competed on by the Congress and the JDS, while the Lingayat vote has, since the 1990s, stayed with the BJP. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of a background. There has always been a narrative of hurt feelings with regard to the Lingayat vote and the Congress party. In 1990, late Chief Minister of Karnataka, Veerendra Patil, was in his post and was heading a Congress-led government in the state. And he was unceremoniously removed from the position by then party chief Rajiv Gandhi while he was still recovering from a stroke. I was a child then, but I still remember that Mr. Patil went on to Doordarshan at that time and spoke, and it was very obvious looking at him that he was suffering from a stroke. He protested against his unceremonious removal, which Mr. Gandhi had done while still at the Bengaluru airport. So this was a very unceremoniously done thing. Mr. Veerendra Patil raised the banner of revolt. He said he wasn't being treated well. And this removal alienated the Lingayats from the Congress for a significant period of time. At this point of time, the Janata Party was also a big force in Karnataka politics, and some of the Lingayat vote did go to them. But the BJP under B.S. Yediyurappa, who is a Lingayat leader, claimed their support for the foreseeable future. Now, Mr. Yediyurappa is the only so-called mass leader for Karnataka that has been established in election after election, and the Lingayat vote stayed more or less loyal to him rather more than the BJP, because in 2013, if you remember, Mr. Yediyurappa revolted. He had some problems with the BJP, formed his own party, got 10% of the vote, and made sure that BJP ended up in third place in that election, which elected a Congress government to power with Mr. Siddaramaiah as the chief minister. Now, the parties, the BJP, Congress, and even the Janata Dal secular, have currently been seen exchanging barbs over the perceived insult meted out to the community's leaders by their rivals, because this narrative of hurt feelings is something that goes with the Lingayat community. They're very emotional about certain issues. They feel that the Congress, first of all, did not treat their leader right, and the Congress has now started turning the tables on the BJP on this matter. The BJP continues to harp on Congress insulting former chief ministers like late S. Nijalingappa and the late Virendra Patil, while the Congress hits back, saying that the BJP insulted Mr. Yediyurappa by forcing him to step down from the post of Chief Minister for no reason, according to them, and replacing him with B.S. Bommai, who is a Lingayat himself, but is not considered a leader of the community as such in the way that Mr. Yediyurappa is. Now, despite this, or perhaps because of it, despite this, or perhaps because of the community's importance, 9 Veerashaiva-Lingayats have been chief ministers in the past, including, as I said, Basavaraj Bommai. Now, let us look at what the various parties seem to be doing in order to mobilize the Lingayat community in their favor. Let's first go to BJP, which has, for the last 2 decades or more, have had the support of the Lingayat community behind them. Now, the ruling BJP, which kept Mr. Yediyurappa out till recently, has brought him to the forefront in their campaign, and the outreach has come from Prime Minister Modi himself. Without a credible set of second-rung Lingayat leaders, the party is feeling that maybe removing him sent the wrong message, and there is a need to utilize Mr. Yediyurappa's goodwill among the voters. The visibility of Mr. Yediyurappa is being seen as an acknowledgement by the central leadership that he alone could bring back the Veerashaiva-Lingayat subcastes together. He and his son, Mr. Vijayendra, have been made members of the campaign committee and given other responsibilities as well. Lingayat subcastes like the Panchamshali were also sought to be wooed by the BJP, but not very successfully by Mr. Bommai, who tried this outreach, saying that they would get to a reservations, but that move seems to have hit an obstacle. Now, Mr. Yediyurappa has been assured that while he has retired from active politics, he declared that he would not be fighting the assembly elections. His son, B.S. Vijayendra, will be accommodated in the party hierarchy and has been made the Prabhari of the state mortars or frontal organizations of the state BJP. Clearly, no one in the BJP wants a repeat of what I said earlier, which was the 2013 election when Mr. Yediyurappa broke from the BJP, formed the Karnataka Janata Paksha, and made sure that the BJP ended number 3 in that year's state elections. So, a BJP leader, in fact, once told me that while Mr. Yediyurappa cannot win the state on his own, even through a party of his own, but he can ensure that the BJP loses and loses badly. So that is the logic behind all this outreach that the BJP has been doing to Mr. Yediyurappa and to the Panchamshali Lingayats. The attempts with Mr. Yediyurappa seem to be a little more successful than what was attempted with the Panchamshali Lingayats, because Mr. Yediyurappa is also concerned about the career of his son, Mr. B.S. Vijayendra. It seems that he has been given some sort of an assurance from the BJP High Command that Mr. Vijayendra will be accommodated in the party hierarchy, even going ahead into the future. Now we come to the more interesting case of the Congress. As I said, the Congress party depends largely on the Kaliga vote. They fight about it, or their main rival in wooing this vote is with the JDS, the Janata Dal Secular, especially in the old Mysore area, where the BJP has been unsuccessful so far in having any kind of traction. So that is one area which is very, very crucial in these elections. But the Congress also seems to have realized that they need some support, at least in the northern parts of the state, where the Lingayat community is decisive in many seats. So the man leading the Congress outreach to the Lingayat community is Mr. M.B. Patil. He is also an important Lingayat leader. He's known for his network with community leaders and the mutts, the all-important religious mutts or religious, sects, which populate the Lingayat community. There are gurus and sections of population owe their loyalty and their faith to these mutts. And they're extremely influential in shaping opinion, especially before elections. Now, Mr. Patil, who is a former Home Minister of Karnataka, has been appointed the chairman of the Congress's campaign committee, which is an important position. for these assembly polls, and thus he seems to have been bracketed in the hierarchy with PCC chief Mr. D.K. Shivkumar, who's a Vokkaliga, and opposition leader and former chief minister Mr. Siddaramaiah, who belongs to the Kuruba community and has the support of the Ahinda, the minorities, and the backward communities behind him. And so this is the top league of the Congress, and these are the three people who are there occupying these positions. This has been done specifically to also send a message to Lingayat communities that yes, we are giving, the Congress party is also giving a lot of importance to the Lingayat community, and that the Lingayat community should not shut their hearts to the Congress party. Now, Mr. Patil has within the Congress petitioned senior leaders to give the Lingayat community tickets in 70 constituencies that have been identified based on community presence, candidate, and economic clout, saying that having a Lingayat candidate in these seats will be extremely important in winning those seats. Now, this, in fact, includes many constituencies in South Karnataka. As I said, the old Mysore area, which is considered the Gowda heartland. To give Lingayats tickets there is a move that the Congress feels will, or at least Mr. Patil feels, will help a smaller part of the Lingayat community. There is a presence of the Lingayat community even in South Karnataka, and Mr. Patil feels that the Gowda vote should not be the only game for the Congress in that region. There should be an amalgamation under the Congress symbol of both the Vokkaliga and the Lingayat vote. Now, in 2018, in the last election, the Congress had given around 35 seats to the Lingayat community, but only won 17 seats out of that. Now, the perceived Lingayat resentment against the BJP after the sacking of Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa as Chief Minister in 2021 was also factored in when Rahul Gandhi, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, took an initiation into a Lingayat sect during his visit to a mutt in late August. So the Congress is hard at work. They are saying that we should not restrict ourselves to Gowda or Ahinda votes. We must get votes of every community in the state, and North Karnataka and certain seats in South Karnataka, which has a significant Lingayat presence, needs to be focused on. The most important thing, most interesting in my view, and the most maverick thing in this entire Lingayat wooing process has been done by the Janata Dal Secular. Now, political leaders across parties have acknowledged that Janata Dal Secular leader H.D. Kumaraswamy, who is also a former chief minister of the state, his statement about BJP being keen to make a leader from the Brahmin community as the next chief minister has resonated with the Lingayats. Now, this is a poke at Union Minister Prahlad Joshi, that Mr. Yediyurappa was removed and Mr. Bombay is just a stopgap arrangement before the real plan of the BJP, which is to usher in Mr. Joshi as the chief minister of the state, will take place. By saying this in North Karnataka, it is felt that the Lingayat community will re-evaluate its support to the BJP. Now, the BJP on its part has kind of acknowledged that this has happened and is seen to be going an extra mile not to be seen as a Brahmin party, which would be pretty hurtful to their electoral prospects. Now, BJP leaders frankly admit that the prominence of the Lingayat vote, the Lingayat community, is the cost, in their kind of coalition, the electoral coalition that they depend on in Karnataka, their disproportionately large dependence on the Lingayat community is the cost of being dependent on one big caste for a support base, quite like the Patidar community in Gujarat. Now, after having remained to the loyal to the BJP, however, the question out of this election really is whether this will be the poll where the Lingayat vote, which has been rock solid behind the BJP, will shift or not. Now, that is the central question of the poll. As I said, it's going to be an interesting poll season in Karnataka. More on this when the polls really get underway. For this week, though, this is all I have. Thank you for watching.